Okay, so now that we have our master file saved, it's been converted to cimatrone. We put a coordinate system in it that's going to be useful from here forward. I have a decision to make. I can either start in the mold design environment, which is an assembly environment, and do the quick split inside there, or I can not go into the mold design environment and just go into quick split in a part file. Either way, the master stays virgin. Okay, if I click this button, I'll just show you. Here I would set the master part. We would tell it which one we're working with. It would create a copy of it here. It would give us the option of creating a new folder. We could apply shrink to it, but the result is that you're getting a copy of the master that we're going to do the quick split in. This one is kind of the same thing, except that it's going to do it inside of a mold design environment, inside of an assembly structure. We'll use this one, and I'll try to explain how we would go about it if we wanted to do it the other way. So we're going to give it an assembly name. We'll call it mold design training. We're going to create a new folder. The working directory needs to be set. Okay, now the layout part, I'll explain what that is in a minute. But starting out, probably creating a new one is going to be your better option. Definitely for learning it. It'll be easier to understand it if I choose create new, so we'll do that. We're going to work in inches, and I'm going to hit OK. So over here on the left, you'll notice that it's going to create a main assembly file, sub-assembly files. These sub-assemblies are like for the A side, the B side, the ejection, and the parting. And right now in bold print is the layout part. That means that this part file is active. Okay, so the first thing that we have to do is create positioning points for the parts to come in at. We're going to go into the sketcher. That's this icon here. It's also available from the curves drop down menu. And every time that you use the sketcher, you have to define the piece of paper that you're sketching on. Think about this as a 3D drawing environment, okay? 3D space here. And we want to draw a 2D sketch in 3D space. So what does it say after I hit the sketcher? Oops, hold on a second. Yeah, there it goes. It says pick entities to define the plane. So normally we would pick on a face or a plane or something to define that 2D workspace, okay? If I don't have anything on the screen and I'm okay with drawing on the XY plane at Z0, I can middle click. That dumps me into the sketcher on the XY plane at Z0. And for what we're trying to accomplish, that's perfectly acceptable. So I go to the top view, and I'm going to choose the point tool. Yeah, by the way, whenever you go in the sketcher tools are always here on the right hand side. If you click on the sketcher and you don't have any sketcher tools on the right hand side, it's probably waiting for you to define the sketch plane. Okay, I'm going to go to point, drop one there, drop one there. See how the constraints are lighting up? And see how my cursor looks like a point still, or a crosshair? If I middle click, I come out of that tool, and now I'm in selection tool. That means I could pick this point, I could move it around, I could delete it. But what I want to do is I want to dimension it. So over here's the dimension tool. I pick this point, and I pick the coordinate system, and we'll call this 3.5 inches apart. And then again, left click, left click, left click, punch in the value. See how my cursor looks like dimensioning? I middle click, it comes out, and now I'm back in the selection tool. So all the tools are kind of like this. If I go into the line tool, my cursor looks like a line. I can do, you know, horizontal line. I click, that becomes a line. It stays connected. I can keep picking points here, right? If I middle click, the first middle click unattaches. Now I can draw a new free line. Middle click, left click, left click, middle click, left click, middle click. But see, I'm still on the line tool. One more middle click takes me to the selection tool. I've backed out, and now I can select things. And I'm going to hit the delete on the keyboard to get rid of this stuff. Okay, so pay attention to the cursor. The way the cursor looks will give you a good indication as to what feature you're in the software. Now I want to leave the sketch. I can go out this door, or I can right click and choose exit sketcher. Here's my points where I'm going to position the parts. And next I need to create a layout UCS. Now this is just a coordinate system, but it is a bit special. The layout UCS is a special attribute to where the parts sit in the mold design. I can't just come up here and create regular old coordinate systems. It's not okay. It has to be a layout UCS. So I'm going to put one here, one there. See, I'm at step 1. I middle click. Now I can put in some rotational values here. I think this one needs to be 270, and this one needs to be 90. I can also affect the Z position of the part here. I can raise it up or lower it down. Okay, so between the sketcher and the layout UCS, I can define anything I want. I can define the origin of the parts here, and the rotation and the Z depth here. So that's all we do in the layout part, is we define coordinate systems for the parts to come in and sit on. Okay, next we go to load work parts. Okay, because we haven't done quick split yet, we're going to set the master part, which is the one we had open a few minutes ago, here. Had we taken the option of doing the parting wizard earlier, when I said we had a decision to make, we could have opened up the parting wizard and done the quick split there, in which case we'd be picking this one if we already have the part quick split. If the part has not been quick split, then you go to the first one. I'm sorry if that's confusing. It really isn't that bad. That's about as confusing as it gets, I suppose. So if quick split hasn't been done, you're using the first field. If quick split has been done, you're using the second field. Okay, I believe this is our part. And you can see it's creating a copy of it. It's now calling it a work file. That means it's our copy. We can also apply shrink here, although we don't have to. We can do it later. It's just an option. Okay, now I'm going to pick this coordinate system and this coordinate system, and the part comes in at 2 locations. It's the same part. This part is that part. You're just seeing it twice. If I change this to different components, however, they can be different. It'll explode one of these to a copy, and you'll have two parts. That's not what we want. We want the same component because it's two of the same parts.